hello, and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here, and we are live with the National Junior College Athletic Association Esports side, hence the E there on the end. I'm FBI Tugboat, here with my man Orbital. We are about ready to bring this action to you guys. Orbital, how are we doing?
I'm doing all right. Excited to see this finals. I mean, it is finals, of course, so everyone's getting a little bit hype out there, but I think this is going to be a really, really good series.
Absolutely. Standard best of fives, no BO7s here in the grand finals, not today at least, not for the NJCAAE. This is Northern Virginia Community College, henceforth referred to as Nova or the Nighthawks, their mascot. Number 2 seed, taking on the number 4 seed here, Orbital, that is Wake Tech, the Eagles, coming out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yep, it's kind of crazy how both these squads were actually actually able to make it in, and I have to give credit to Wake Tech right now. These guys, no harm to Nova over there, but Wake Tech got through some very stiff opponents, and I would say in tremendous fashion as well. Both squads did win, of course, 3-0s, and then only one 3-1, I believe, on Nova's side, but for Wake Tech to 3-0 the number 1 seed coming into this is something that I give them very high praise for. I'm very excited to see how both these teams do.
The top dog right there, number 1 seed. That was Howard Community College coming in here to the playoffs. Now is the last round. The Wake Tech shut them down 3-0 fashion. Looking at like a little bit of a dissimilarity here, like the opposing side, Nova having a little bit of problems. Number 15 seed, the Lincoln Land Loggers, fantastic name, but the 15th seed really gave the number 2 seed a run for their money and early. That was a 3-1 victory, so taken much, much harder there for Nova. Let's get on into it. On the right, in the orange, we got Wake Tech. That is Cheese, that is Deadsy, and that is Blurry. Would you do me a favor? Introduce Nova.
Yes, of course, on Nova's side, it is going to be TNT there, as you can see, and then I do believe we have Ability and Taurus, I think, to kick things off. Now, we might have some changes in there. Let me take a look. Nope, I think I got it mixed up. Nope. You know what? I'll go back and forth. We'll see who's there. But yes, Nova will be bringing their A team here, and we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. A couple subs we might see, but let's get and sink our teeth on into this game. Cheese is up and Cheese is down. That's the top Cheese making in the first goal here for Wake Tech. That's the Eagles swooping in, striking first.
Yeah, it was a very, very quick one as well. Very nice off the backboard. Just a simple layup there. And to make the simple look clean and classy is very, very nice. Wake Tech already here. This team that we said at the 4th seed probably feel like they deserve a little bit more. Already showing up here in the first minute.
I can't agree with you more there, Orbital. Squad coming in like this, letting down squads, 3-0 against the 13th seed Jefferson State, number 5 seed, and striking back. That's Nova. Stop talking about Wake Tech. Nicely done. 52 seconds into this one, we have a tie game.
That one was actually a steal off as well. I'm not even sure if you're really aiming for that, but it definitely seemed like it. So very nice steal and a single goal. And the individual skill coming out of Nova so far, I'm very, very excited to see if they continue this momentum, if it's a lot more single coverage, single action play instead of team coordination, because that would be a great idealization.
Yeah, now down bottom, that was ability, kind of the low and slow defensive block. That's all that was necessary. A fight across the middle as Taurus tries to take this across the middle. Blurry, that's the wrong way, unfortunately. Cheese tries to cover this one up. TNT takes it off the back, and that's just going to yield to nothing but a little bit of offense against Nova.
And it's a very, very slow start, and this is the period of time where both teams are really feeling each other out. Anyone that's played in any sort of best of 5, best of 7, best of 3 scenario understands that this is a time where you don't go crazy. You just kind of go for what's safe, and so far, Nova finding very safe opportunities with that goal.
I have to agree to you. This is a perfect pass from Taurus. I believe that was Deadsy down bottom that looked like they were going to be able to get a hand onto this one. Not the case here in game number 1. Nova up 2-1 so far. 3 scores, 90 seconds. We're looking at a pretty high score in fairness so far.
And these just feel like the teams are still trying to scout out what they actually want to do. In a best of 5, of course, the one way that you can look at it is it's a best of 3 with a safety net, right? You have a safety net of 1 goal that you can kind of mess around with and kind of test out, see what works, see what doesn't. And at this point, both teams are playing slow enough that I feel that they really are just warming up, right? This game, whoever it goes to, yes, you do get a leg up at the best of 5, and you're very happy about that, but I feel like there's a lot more to come for both these teams.
wiggle room purchase by any team in a best of 5 for that first game, 100%. Just a little bit of a litmus test, right? Kind of feeling out how the team is playing on the day right here. I can guarantee you these two teams have faced each other before. A lot of pressure right here. Wake Tech does not crumble under it. Reverse the other way. This has been kind of characteristic of this first game. I have to wonder if these like massive sweeping changes in offensive possession will continue on into the second half of this game and into our further games in this contest.
I could definitely see it, and that is majority share of the team. Just that carry looks so good. Almost made the goal, but I could definitely see it just being kind of that ring around the rosy, right? As teams are continuing to kind of figure out, do they want to go for the midfield aerial? Do they want to go for the grounders? Do they want to go off the ceiling? There's so many different opportunities that they can go for, and they still have yet to figure out where is the golden opportunity, where is that golden option of the opponent's weakness.
Speaking of weakness, that's Deadzy tying this one up. A low roller down bottom gets taken advantage of all day long. It sinks it right into the pocket. TNT was, I think, trying to put that back for Taurus. Didn't quite get on up to it. And that's what's going to happen when you frequently utilize these back passes here, Orbital.
It's always the danger. You have to keep eyes on where the opponent it is. And had they been kind of gathering that boost, have they just been waiting for that perfect opportunity? And ability shows awesome ability, as that is a very quick and a snap of a goal.
That's about as good as it gets there, Orbital. My goodness. 115 kilometers per hour will purchase him not just the flashiest goal, but the numerically fastest. I think that's the right word. Yes, the numerically fastest goal on broadcast here today. Not the quickest, not the least amount of time in between, but the fastest, 100%.
And I like it. It shows, and again, Nova has been the team to really just play on the individual basis. It's, do we see a fast breakaway? Do we see a large-scale opportunity to go for that goal? Did we grab that steal from a teammate or from an opponent? And that's what they've been scoring on, whereas Wake Tech are a little bit more about that teamwork and the coordination. We have to kind of set up in the middle. We do have to set up for that goal shot, or else we don't get the win.
Yeah, and it's just going to... A win here is going to continue to come off of the offensive performances from a team, passes, and more, and that's Cheese now tying it on up. Love to see it. 66 seconds left in this Game 1 contest of this best of 5, and Cheese really has been the back end of a lot of these. 4 shots up, 2 goals in, the front end of a lot of these. Deadzy already with a goal as well, throw a save on the back, and Deadzy's playing pretty well. Blurry, 3 assists. Blurry has assisted every goal that Wake Tech can really congratulate themselves on in game number 1 so far, Deadzy.
And I think that just shows, again, they're different stylizations. So I can't wait to see what the kind of what the quicker tempos might bring in, if that yields opportunities for Wake Tech to really prep, or if that yields more opportunities for Nova to seal the way, as we can start seeing Nova get a little bit antsy. They want to score another goal, and no matter what, even though you're testing the waters, you still want to win game 1.
Oh, man, Blurry could have just put up another one, and that's another really good follow-up shot there from Cheese. Doesn't quite get it in, though. Defensive performances from Nova have been absolutely stifling, and that's not going to change with 20 seconds left.
Nice little roll on the top side as Wake Tech looked to try and clear the ball out, but Dars comes in with about full boost and is now going to try and angle up. 10 seconds left here, as it is potentially going to go to OT here, unless someone can balance it up in the air.
Volleyball situation attained. TNT trying to walk the dog on in. Stop across the top. And now to the bottom right. This is angled back in around if TNT wants to. They're not going to. We got OT in game number 1, Orbital.
OT. Game 1 and 6 goals. That is a crazy number to have. So
yeah.
7 goals is going to be the golden number. And I mean, that might even be the golden ratio at that point. I don't know. But that's awesome to see. Again, high scoring, high value, and it means both teams might be doing away with defense, which is even funnier to think about.
Definitely see that one coming in. TNT up, TNT down. Nobody there. Ability barely gets a handle on the other side of this one and does wing this one in. TNT, maybe if they backed up a little bit, who knows, but ability there. Cheese can't quite stretch out to it, and Nova takes game numero uno by a score difference of 1. A tied situation going on down to this OT type. They let ball dead out. No volleyball, and doesn't want anybody to go on this. They go for the reset in 30 seconds or so of overtime. That's going to be Nova coming out on top in game number 1.
It was fairly well fought. Again, it felt slow paced because it was slow paced, and with both teams sitting at that 3-3, it was an understandable choice, right? Clear it out, don't go crazy with it, and it worked in their favor, right? Very, very nicely done. It was a calm goal as well. I will say, TNT, benefit of the doubt, you knew your teammate was coming in. You didn't miss a shot. It was definitely a pass. And it worked. Very, very nice setup. It was one of the few team setups that we've seen from Nova. So they're so far showing that they have 2 different styles that they're willing to play with. And at least prominently 2 different ones. Wake Tech going to look to do the same, most likely, and really look for those fast breakaways. But so far, Nova's showing that they have 2 different styles that Wake Tech will have to worry about.
Just simply having more plays in the playbook that you and your 2 teammates can go off and coordinate on that you've done before, that you can communicate leading up to, it's never a situation that's going to hurt you. These one-track mind teams, that's really where they start to break down, because eventually you are going to play against a team that just does it better than you. Not necessarily saying that's what's happening here today, because again, as Orbital said, we are seeing multiple different play styles coming out. That just happened to be Nova on top in the first. Score difference of 1. I got no predictions right now, Orbital.
Not at all. I mean, that's the crazy thing. Especially at OT, it doesn't even feel like it was a score difference of 1. It's like a score difference of 0.5. Right, it was OT, someone could get away with it, someone could get a fast break, whatever you want to say. So right now, Nova understand that they're still up against a very formidable team, and we can already see Wake Tech getting, I would say, a little bit more aggressive. We're seeing a few more challenges in each other's territories, more than we saw before.
Yeah, I mean, you always like the tempo of a game changing from game 1 into game 2, and kind of observing how it's happening. Both teams kind of seems like I've opted to change that a little bit, but this really is Wake Tech. They have spent the majority of time on offense for a reason. Do we have a rule 1 down bottom?
We might? No. Nope. We see a challenge, and that was a very nice shot by Ability off the glancing side, and it looked like they came close to it, but I don't think we did.
Gotcha. Yeah, just kind of hitting up the top right there. That is Deadsy that actually plays this one, so a technical own goal, but we don't count those because you got to play him regardless. You know this is going in. You don't play it, might as well at least try your luck. Then into this one, pressure on Nova.
Pressure up top, but can they carry it over? Nice clear out. Looks like it's going to roll right in. It feels like Nova is starting to ramp things up and have identified some of those key opportunities, especially on the sides.
2-2, and I'm not talking dresses. That's 2 shots, 2 goals for Ability here. Throw a save on the top, and Ability has more points than everybody else in this lobby right now. Did you hear that, Orbital? Everybody else in the lobby has less points together. The other 5 players, 2 on the side of Nova, 3 on the side of Wake Tech, have less points than Ability right now.
Ability rules all. Ability is the carry.
Looks like
I love it. I love it.
A for a reason.
It's getting good. I like it. So far, though, as you said, Ability maybe looking for the hat trick here, but Wake Tech do not want to let 3 goals go unanswered here. And you can see him challenging a bit more, but that has left the goal open every so often. So if Nova are able to get their hands on it, this could occur. Nice little shot there. It is blocked.
Yeah, that's Ability's first shot and miss here in game number 2. They absolutely dumbed out game 1 as well. No reason to believe this one's going to stop either, Orbital. Into this one, then we actually have our biggest score difference so far, I think, because we just went down, like, tied up 1-1. We'd have a score difference of 1, and then all the way down to the end. Yeah, so it's score difference of 2 right now. Wake Tech with nothing. 2 for Nova is the actual biggest score difference so far. Very close game it's been. I'd have the grand finals going their way, though.
Oh, was that an actual bait? Was that a bait or a juke?
There's the
we gotta watch this back.
Cheese comes in. I have no idea. Ability just picks this one up. A technical pass from TNT. The technical assist from TNT, but it is Ability's hat trick for halftime. That is a bad look for Wake Tech.
You know what? We give it to TNT because this is the second time TNT has done this. It's looked like a shot on goal, and yet it's been set up as a pass. We just say if TNT doesn't know if it's a pass or shot, neither will the opponent. I like that call.
We'll fix it if it ain't broke, so we say back home. Halftime here. TNT takes it from the top. Taurus, perfect positioning. That one's going to be a little bit too high on this. It was a good position. He just came in way too fast. Their trajectory was not true. Back to the middle. Ability has a bad line, and Deadsy beats him there. TNT forced to get up to it. Deadsy has no boost to be spoken of. Has to burn it. because he had to burn it earlier, excuse me. Taurus up, always with boost. This Ford always has gas, right?
It shall always be there. Man, you get all the good puns and I'm sitting here like trying to find a time for it. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. There was an attempt at a real one.
And TNT just blew somebody up. I mean,
yeah.
Perfect opportunity. 110 seconds left on into this one. Ability, what is going on? Again, this is just Ability's world and we're all just renting space in it.
It's working so far. I mean, that might be the hat trick. Good block, of course, very standard. Taurus goes up for the challenge and can't find much more than that. So, yeah, Nova looking great. And this time, TNT went off without wanting to go off. So that was an unfortunate scenario.
I like that Wake Tech has kind of changed up their game plan. They realize the situation that they're in here, Orbital. 90 seconds in, no scores on boards. They have to get it going right now. One of the things they have employed are these demos.
And I like that teams do that. I know it used to be in the past, you know, when Rocket League first came out, that demos were seen as kind of a disrespectful, right, or kind of a dirty move. And it's in the game for a reason, right? And it's really expanded into the general warfare of a team that is looking to make opportunities, right? And I really, really like that fact.
So the old school saying would be "get good."
Yeah.
Seriously. It is definitely part of the game for a reason. Now, these higher skill Rocket League teams, you'll frequently see, like, ineffectual demos, though, right? We haven't seen it in this one quite yet, but a defensive situation is created by a player respawning on the other side, right? Happens all the time. Especially these higher levels, you gotta make those demos work, right? Player will be back. Not out forever.
Well, we're getting down to the last 30 seconds here, and unfortunately, with 30 seconds left and a 3-0 scoreline, it's a very rough time for Wake Tech to try and make it back. So Nova, they're not too worried about making the shots. They're more worried about kind of rounding out that timer and just kind of wasting time. So 15 seconds left. Definitely feels like Wake Tech are going to go down 0-2 in the series to kick things off.
Yeah, first game was relatively close. Second game is not. That's Ability once again. All 4 goals in this game. For 6 shots, throw a couple saves on the end, and Ability definitely MVP for this game number 2.
I half want to say at this point that Ability has more goals in the entire series than anyone else combined. Is that right?
Well, 4 goals right here, given that Wake Tech put up 3 earlier, and I believe Ability got 1 or 2 earlier. Yeah, it's not good looks. I mean, I guess that is kind of an easier situation when there's a goose egg by one team, though. Just
that's
I guess.
true.
4-0 scoreline. Nova succeeds in putting up a quartet. Quartet? That's 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a quartet of scores there. Nice orchestra was indeed in game number 2. We just really need to get a loud big band performance here from Wake Tech to then go forth and tie this up. Yes, game 1 was relatively close. If we're going to see a 3-0, I would have loved to see that, you know. Score difference of 1, OT every time. That's not what we see. If we're gonna see that, I want to see Wake Tech strike back by at least a 2-score difference in game 3 and push us to extra rocket.
I would love that too. And right now it feels like Wake Tech are still kind of sleeping, right? They aren't, even though they're demoing, it doesn't feel like they're challenging as much in the air. They're letting it roll by sometimes, and whenever they do roll, it seems to be a little bit too over aggressive, right? Their rotates back are very, very slow. It seems that they're leaving a lot of those goal opportunities open, and which is where those 3 goals came from. Not doubting Ability, but again, those were some very open shots that occurred, and it helps out whenever you have that happen. So Nova just really taking advantage of that fact, and Wake Tech, I want to see faster rotations. That's what I hope to see. 2-man offensive with 1 sitting in the back. Go ahead, start rotating out. You know, play a little bit more all around instead of feeling like you have to kind of send yourself forward or have it all the way back. Rotate out, see if that makes a difference. See if you can catch Nova doing kind of the same thing you did before, and that'll be your opportunity to come back.
Shutting down Ability, I think, could be a big part of that, but what you said about rotations and whatnot will simply negate out these opportunities that Ability has gotten. There's 4 scores, not all of them were pass plays. Some of them were beautiful, I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, it's about setting up those pass plays into points, and that's just not something that Nova has been forced to do thus far. It's been the Ability show right here, and just getting quicker to the rotations, straight up, just rounding out these edges right here for Wake Tech. They've already shown that they can take this team to a 1-score difference, take them to overtime. Not a long overtime, but an overtime still. Not a short overtime, given it was about 30 seconds. But they've already shown that they can do it. Now it's just about getting it done right here, Orbital. We're going to go ahead and give these teams a little bit of time to kind of figure out what that is that they want to do. Unless, Orbital, do you have something else before we go to a short break?
Not at all. I'm just excited for the next match.
There you go. Short break, guys. Back with you guys. Hello and welcome back. A short break it was indeed. We keep our promises here at the NJCAA. Speaking of, though, I'm going to contradict myself. We straight up lied to you people. It's not a best of 5, it's best of 7. It was for your benefit. We wanted to give you extra Rocket League, but as we all know, the #1 rule in entertainment here, Orbital, is you have to give the people what they want, but you cannot give it to them all at the same time.
Not at all. We gotta hang it in front of you just a little bit and make sure that you're
You
on the hook, and then we send it all the way through. So you are in for the long haul. It is gonna be a little bit larger than just the best of 5. So even though the scoreline was sitting at a 2-0 in favor of Nova, that means that there's a little bit larger safety net. However,
Yes.
it is quickly shrinking here, and I want to emphasize that. Even though we're saying it's a best of 7, first of 4, whatever you want to say, Wake Tech's opportunities to make some changes here is drastically different, and that is something that they do have to worry about. Of course, we off the kickoff, Wake Tech trying to get a little bit cheeky.
It would have been like a 4-second goal or something like that. Nope, they'll take it in 10. 1-0 lead for Wake Tech. And I think that, yeah, it was Nova who struck first in game numero uno, correct?
No, it was actually Wake Tech.
It was Wake Tech. Gotcha.
Wake Tech has aggressed in games 1 and 3 so far, but Nova has really... In game 1, Nova were able to answer back pretty much immediately, but this time around, Wake Tech seemed to have found maybe a golden opportunity, the golden formula maybe for early fights.
There's a lot to be said for taking this advantage early. A little bit of a slow play down bottom. Torres pays for it with the life right there. 30 seconds into this one, teams now not going at hot and heavy offenses and trying to get something done across this middle area. I think that Wake Tech might have found what they needed.
I think they might have as well, and you can see it, right? Someone always sitting in midfield, which is the appropriate distance right now if you are still aggressing. And a nice little challenge there once again. Now Nova, we're starting to see them double up on the defensive, and that also has me a little bit worried. A huge thing about Rocket League is when you are blocking, when you are defending against some of these goals, you have to be aware of who is going for the ball at what time, and that's a great defense right there. That will be Dead Z, ensuring that the ball doesn't go in, but that's going to be the follow-up ability again with the goal.
That's the stop right there. Blurry's in the back. Blurry comes up and challenges. That's what it was. Blurry was playing more on the ball as opposed to more playing who had the correct angle coming in aggressively. Easy pass and a point right there. That's going to be Nova striking first. Talked a little bit about rotations. I think that if the Eagles had been a little bit farther off and not trying to cheat up on the offense quite yet, not trying to get that free space, that free yardage up front. Whoa, weird pinch play. Get that free yardage up front, then they would have been able to be in position to block that one away. As it is, tie ball game.
Tie game, and hopefully someone's going to break that soon. Wake Tech hoping to do that as the ball is currently on Nova's side. But again, ability. Whenever ability is on our screen, we always have to be worried about the potential chance of a goal one way or another.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they're not going to give it up that easily, at least not here in game number 3. Bounce play. Dead Z bounces another one in from this left side. A deadly shot indeed. I love this. Just playing it off against the wall with himself. Teammates are up close and personal. Wake Tech, that's Cheese, playing that bodyguard action and assaulting the goalie. Love to see it. That's exactly what Wake Tech needs to go forth and continue on with their advantage.
Gotta find something, right? Always changing up that strategy, always having that chance and the opportunities given to you. And so really appropriate play right there, I think. You know, you've identified that Nova are starting to kind of camp inside the goal. Bully them out, you know, force them around, make them so they do have to continuously move around. And Wake Tech now with a 2-1 advantage, but Nova, we know what they like to do. As soon as a goal is scored, they like to try and challenge right back. So expect an open shot just like that. This time, it's TNT that explodes with the tie ball. Good.
Talk about calling it. Once it comes up, that's a perfect opportunity there for TNT, and Cheese just maybe a bit of a bad angle, maybe a bit of a bad luck, really. Maybe like kind of wrong position, right time type thing. Not 100% sure. Who cares? It's 2-2 right now, and we are 20 seconds outside of halftime.
Right
nice
outside.
stop.
Ooh.
There you go. Playing the defender.
I'm liking this so far. Wake Tech, we said that we want to see them be a little bit more aggressive, be a little bit more open. Right there, you see the bump, and Nova have to now identify this. So inside of Rocket League, there's always kind of that always shifting moments. It's how you identify the flow of the game, what's happening in the game, you know, what can we do here? And so far, Nova, I don't think they've really caught on to the fact that Wake Tech is going to get very, very physical. And I guess TNT actually noticed it, goes ahead and bumps Blurry out. So I guess the teams have realized it's a full-on physical contact game. Going to be a lot of demos and a lot of bumping.
Yeah, we already saw that. About 3 demos in the past 30 seconds or so, even before this previous score. Across the middle, Taurus takes it. A hit out to the outside. His ability continues this one on. And yeah, it looks like these teams are just driving through minefields right now, man. That's how many demos we have going on.
And the best part about this is I think this leans into Nova's playstyle a little bit, right? Like, this is a team that loves to work off of individual skill and individual ability. One way to say it or so, but that's what happens when no plays are actually set up. You get golden opportunities like that where the ball floats out in the middle of nowhere and you just openly take that shot.
TNT 2 ability right there. We're looking at 135 on the speed clock right there, the speedometer. That's kilometers per hour. We're looking at, what, I think like 85, 90 miles an hour. Like that. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Minute 50 left in this, and we have a tie ball game. We are pretty much guaranteed to have a higher score total than we did in game number 1, which was 7. We're guaranteed to at least tie it at a 3-3 score line right now. But with 100 seconds left, I think there's plenty to really go around right here. Cheese up and down, and Cheese makes this one look easy.
Yeah, and it's surprising to see as both teams have actually gone to heart with the aggression. This is now both teams kind of doing away with a lot of the defense because of how aggressive it's been. You're not sure where the ball is actually going to change hands. So both teams are actually having a difficult time identifying if they do have to get back in the goal to defend because you're not sure. Is your teammate going to be able to steal it away? Is someone else going to get the air fight? You know, who is going to get what? And because of that, these teams, you constantly see them a little bit slow on the rotate. I'm curious if that's going to continue throughout the rest of the series as well.
I have to agree with you. Like, earlier, this is way more of a Wake Tech problem, but Nova has really been pushed into a position where they're really staring down the same exact barrel. 70 seconds left of this. Advantage Wake Tech. They haven't enjoyed it that much, and what a time to enjoy it, the last 60 seconds or so.
The problem is, of course, we know what Nova can do. If they can score in the last second, it's going to be real nice for them, but do you like to see that was a little bit of a floater right in front of the goal, so Wake Tech getting closer and closer to solidifying their lead.
Still keeping up this offensive onslaught. That's Wake Tech. It is not quite keep away times, especially at only a 1-score difference so far. That can be done away in a blink of an eye. Nice plays down bottom. Ability out to TNT. TNT Taurus. That's going to be a nice stop, but still dangerous areas. TNT not once, but twice, but thrice.
Just like that, we passed the 7 goals scored. And this touch, I don't think was meant to happen. Yeah, TNT, again, the mistake that shines so bright. This time actually resulting in the goal there. What a remarkable one to have. In under 30 seconds as well.
Like we were saying, the time for it to happen. Tie ball game, 20 seconds left on this. Still getting aggressive and looking for it. Ability. Credit for the block right there. Multiple blocks for them. High flying ball right side. Blurry picks it up. Picks up boost and tries to take it out. Taurus can't get much onto it. There's a run. Blurry across the middle, getting demo right previously to it, but the pressure going to be relieved in just a little while.
Ooh, this is actually very, very dangerous. You can see Nova trying to clear it out right now. It's going to be a little bit of a drop there. So straight into OT we go. Second OT of the series.
Yes, we will not be hitting double-digit score lines in this. We will be seeing 9 total. A pretty similar game number 1 right here. Just literally even more scores than we saw right there. Same OT situation, though. Last one ended in 28 seconds, and both teams playing this one very, very slow.
No one wants to be that person that messes up there. And oh, that could be it. Nice little kick out, though. Blurry able to save it at the last moment. Prep up in the air as, again, Cheese is going to block it out. And now it's a quick rush to get back on defense. Nova already pushing past that 30 seconds, trying to get bullied out. Nice little bump, but Wake Tech still challenging on the other side of the field.
Awesome move there from Deadsy. Perfect rotation, defensive positioning right here. That would have been an open net otherwise. Back on into the middle. That's Cheese playing their hand of defense.
Might be another chance again. Taurus going for a little bit of a tricky shot there. And so far, Nova have gone for those in optimal situations, but have made it look very, very close and already passing into a minute here into OT. Nova playing the sides a little bit more. Going to be a head-to-head bounce and an immediate help from Wake Tech. Still watching TNT as they want to get that goal in. And Nova, fully being on the aggression here, has yet to pass out of their hands.
Yeah, it's been a while since this ball has even left this front third to even go down to the middle, the up and the down, and TNT has got the moves. 90 seconds into game number 3. It goes down similar to game number 1, but it still goes the way of Nova. I gotta say, Wake Tech, they knew that if they drop this goal, they go down to match point here at Orbital, and this is the definition of something you cannot pay attention to. You cannot play like it. You know, you can allow the fact into your mind or whatever else like that, right? But what Ted Lasso got to have the memory of a goldfish. Can't let that play you and just literally go forth with a Rocket League game ahead of you. And I really do feel like that was the overtime difference between the first one and the second one.
I would posit to agree with that. What they cannot forget about, though, are the strategies that are currently being employed by Nova's side, right? You can forget about the score and everything like that, but take away at least what's going on in this game. And honestly, Wake Tech, they had an inkling, right? The formula was being built appropriately. They were finding those goals. It felt a lot better than what we'd seen prior. The difference now is they're slipping up on their own defensive side. They have to be able to flip through that offensive and defensive techniques on a dime. And again, it's so hard to say that because both teams are challenging so hard for the ball, right? On top of all of this, yes, we can talk about all the strategies that you want, but in those scenarios where both teams are currently demoing each other out of existence over and over again, challenging for every ball, and no one can set up a proper pass, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous to actually tell teams to be like, yo, you have to know exactly who's going to get that ball in the middle of the field right now. You have to know who's going to get it. So even though I'm saying these things, everyone should take it with a little bit of salt on top. It's a very difficult time for them. And right now, it's just Nova feel a little bit more individually skilled, and that is what's giving them this tiny edge when it comes down to the wire.
And I really feel like Nova's also enjoyed a situation where they will have individual superstars across games. Now, game 1, 2, that was very obviously ability, but TNT coming on in with the triple goals, double assist situation, throw some extra shots and some saves on in there, and that was TNT all day long. MVP game number 3. 20 seconds on into this one. It has just been Nova pressure thus far. Ability takes one easily across the top.
Ability wants that MVP spotlight back on him. It's like, listen. We ain't changing this anytime soon, Taurus. I know you wanted that goal, but it ain't yours.
Yep. TNT, you have to order a different meal.
Oh.
1-0 for Nova here early. Wake Tech looking to strike back. Geez, getting super aggressive early. TNT takes this one off the corner. And Deadsy, down bottom, ability. Really is just putting on a showcase. I mean, we've been singing the praises of ability offensive-wise, but they also have literally been doing a whole lot otherwise. The protected president, the escort all the way in, doesn't actually ring true because the defender did not get demoed. They got bumped but not demoed and were still able to play onto this ball. I love the look, though.
It's always a favorite, I think, of ours, is just watching the having the ball slowly rolls in, and we're like, where's everyone else? Oh, they're all getting bodied by the bodyguards. It's a very entertaining strategy. And right there, again, Flurry, this constant aggression from Wake Tech just trying to throw Nova off their rhythm. And honestly, Nova have it covered perfectly. They know that they're in a fantastic spot here in this best-of-7 series. They're literally on match point after 3 games. What more could they ask for?
Yeah, except for another shutout here. Wake Tech's put up a goose egg thus far here. But a W in Game 4 will seal the deal, no matter if it comes in OT, no matter if it comes in an absolute sweep. Time slipping through the fingers here. Sand through the hourglass for Wake Tech. It's only a score difference of 1, but if they get nothing, the score difference will lie right here. That'll be it.
Can they pull it off again? You can see a little bit of a light dribble. Blurry getting a little bit of a shove and routes it into a 1v1 off the right side. But of course, TNT is going to gently carry that one back over, try and flip it over one of the aggressors, but Ability is not going to carry it on their own. So Nova back into that 1v1 situation. The individual performances, that's a shot, goes just wide to the right.
Yeah, so TNT literally set that up, and you want something done, you got to do it yourself. That was TNT all day long. Took possession out of their third, takes it across the middle, picks up boost on the way, sets up a shot. Everything was rolling TNT's way that time. TNT to Ability! I'm getting tired of saying it.
See, okay, so to be fair, they were trying to set Taurus up here. So you see Taurus fly right by there. Taurus was supposed to get that goal. And I love the fact that they just laid off on the side like, all right, I might have missed that one. So well done to pick it up, though. Nova really playing that wall perfectly. And now at 2-0, it's feeling a bit more comfortable. Remember, in game number 2, they settled for a 3-0 and then carried it from there. So one more, and then they can play a little bit safer and really feel in control. Ooh. But of course, Cheese is not going to let that happen easily.
Nicely done. This is a perfect setup right here. Cheese from downtown. Deadsy continues the trajectory right here, and Cheese in the middle, like literally the dead center middle of 3 different Nova players, puts this one up just so they can watch it. 1 second outside of halftime, and only 1 score difference. This is lining up to be one of the lowest scoring affairs we've seen so far.
Well, now that you said that, we're going to get 7 from Nova, and then an 8 from Wake Tech, and we're starting!
Ay.
It's kicking up now. Well, this is just so good by Deadsy as well. To always have, and again, this is why we like to talk about those 2 offensive moves here. You always have someone backing you up. What we don't like is, of course, seeing the 3 just kind of float out. They lose control and then get scored on subsequently. But the 2 attacks so far has felt great from some of these plays.
TNT up top, I think, tried to stay there to try and maybe get an assist or so, but this is the deadly Cheese run that we have seen so far. Back to the middle, tries to get it up there. Blurry, beaten feet to get there, does. Challenges completely. Ability barely pops up to this one. That was Cheese almost perfectly taking advantage of a really bad angle that this other person, Ability, was trying to get in at. Not going to happen. Not going to be a score so far. A tie ball game again.
At the minute 45, it seems it's going to be the challenge of Wake Tech to try and get that goal. You can see Nova, they're more than willing to play around their goal right now. They're waiting for that golden opportunity for Wake Tech to actually make a mistake. The thing is, I'm not sure they're going to, as the pass was being started and started to be set up.
TNT, great job getting an upper handle onto this one. Just like that, Ability now getting a hand on it and starting this roll right side. Taurus off the side ball, going to end in a back pass there to TNT, but that has already bit Nova once. Glad it didn't happen again. Demos across the bottom. Open net. Ability barely gets there and shanks it out right side.
And Ability was actually the one that was being set up for. You saw that demo happen in midfield, so Wake Tech now starting to identify the shooter, and that's helped them out here. They open up space, move up to 3-2 with a minute left on the clock.
This is a lead that Wake Tech has enjoyed at this time period. This has been a Nova squad that's been able to undo it and then take it out, either regular time or OT. It's a good job for Wake Tech purchasing themselves this situation thus far, but they just have to close it out and push this to some extra Rocket League. Nice bounces and bumps and everything else. Deadsy breaking this one up, hitting not 1 but 2 defenders and keeping this ball on the offensive side.
It's their goal game plan again. This is where Wake Tech have struggled, though. Cannot let Nova get an easy goal here. That is what is going to feel the worst. So 35 seconds left. It almost throws in, and they almost kick it in themselves.
Oh, no. Heartbreak Hotel has been checked into. Occupancy is filled up by Wake Tech. Tied up situation, and this has got to feel like deja vu.
What was I just saying, Tomo? What was I just saying about what Wake Tech had to do? They had to be careful, and then they do that. That hurts so much. And now, 30 seconds, as you were saying, Nova, they feel like they can run away with this, and they can do a shutout series here in the finals that'll look great for them on this board.
Ability was about to just show off right there. I couldn't see, the ball was occluding the defensive player on the other side. I thought Ability was about to make a montage. 7 seconds, still OT. No team has been able to take this one and really have something happen with it outside of the more one-sided up and down, and that's Deadsy finding something from nothing.
Deadsy said, we're not going to OT because we know what happens in OT, so we're going to end it right here. And it's a shot back to form, right? Wake Tech plant. They set up the pass, they make it work, and then they score. It's a simple, right? It's a team coordination that they've been looking for the entire time, and it finally bears fruit. At the final moment in Game 4, they're able to take one, and now they have to do the miracle reverse sweep here It will not be a shutout, Tugboat, but it was very, very close. And keep in mind that is what has been the identifying factor of the series. Outside of one game,
Yep.
we have had a run of ties up to 3, up to 4, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, so everything else has been a one-score difference thus far, right? 4-3 overtime. Game 3, that was a 5-4. And we just saw game number 4 match point, but Wake Tech didn't play like it. Love to see it. Kept the dream alive there towards the very, very end. Still only won by a score difference of 1. Who cares? Well, we literally have to ask what these players in the post-game interview after all of this, not done yet, of course, what exactly happened in game number 2, because it was 3-0 for a while, 4th goal, but still a goose egg in a situation where no team has scored, less than 3 times? Or I guess Nova just put up 2, or no, excuse me. It was a 3-4 scoreline in this most recent game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no team has put up less than 3 scores so far, except for the goose egg put up by Wake Tech in game number 2. We'll see how game 5 goes. Still on match point, but if the reverse sweep is going to happen, Audible, it just started last game and it's going to continue now.
And the worst part is, normally you can see a little bit of a change, I want to say, in some of the gameplay, right? You can see a distinct change that happened for Wake Tech, you know? Oh, they found a player to pick on or anything like that. No, it's just, honestly, it was like the 50-50 kind of landed in their court to have that prep at the very last second, right? And that's what kind of feels bad. So I'm looking at Wake Tech to prove us wrong, prove to us it was not a fluke, prove to us that it was a full-on goal, that you deserve to be in this finals here. And I mean, they do deserve it, but I want to see it even more.
Warner plays right now. Again, both of these teams really deciding to turn down the tempo of these games once they get in past about the first 10 seconds or so, past that initial lineup. We've seen like 6-second goals so far. That's too high, but that's ability shanking this one down bottom, stabbing it in for the first goal here for Nova. Game number 5. Yeah, so Blurry read that. Yeah, Blurry read that as not a shot up top.
Oh, that was close. That was close. And I mean, ability is also getting kind of riled up. Like, listen, we were at 3-0. We're not letting this one slip away. We're ending it right now, and I like that call, right? Again, for Nova, getting the first goal off is going to feel very, very good. And whenever they do score first so far, it has shown that they do very well. TNT rolls it in to put it at 2-0. Oh, is this going to be a repeat of game 2? Wake Tech, say it ain't so.
Yeah, I'm stretching the memory. I believe that Nova was able to put up 2 scores in about this same time, spent about 3 minutes trying to get the last one, and then got their 4th in the last like 30 seconds or so once Wake Tech just says, hey, screw it, let's just pour it all into offense. It would be interesting to see. Oh my goodness, that was almost the flashiest goal on broadcast thus far, we'll say. But Wake Tech should have been able to learn enough to prevent this situation. This is now the Wake Tech we're seeing kind of line up right here, but as I say that, I thought there was not 1 but 2 players on the other side of this to pick it up and continue on the offense. Never mind.
You almost thought wrong, but that's going to be a little bit of a bounce, and there it is, Nova 3-0.
Brutal.
Oh, man. Nova just said, okay, we're done messing around. We're playing this like we usually do. 3-0 in so clean fashion.
Yeah, so this is Nova. They have basically went and bought themselves a situation where they can score basically 1 more and then just play keep away the rest of this match. They're almost in an environment where they're not necessarily playing against this Wake Tech Eagle squad, mostly just playing against that that chronological resource. That's time, people. Time.
Always about that, and I hear a lot of people talk about the fact that the average scoring that you should expect in a game is about a minute to a minute. I want to say 45 seconds to a minute is usually what it takes. So that's what you're looking at in time for Wake Tech. For you have 3 minutes. At 3 minutes, you really want to start scoring those goals, or else the window to get those scores in is going to swing drastically low. It's going to be more and more difficult to hit those. And so far, Nova are not making it easy at all. They are still dancing so well in those challenges, and even in the rolls back towards the goal, TNT is ready for it.
Yeah, TNT kind of blended into the background right there. I thought it might have been money. It was not, though. Couldn't take that one to the bank. 2 minutes. 40 seconds left on in this one. Back to the middle. Cheese. That one's not quite on angle. Bad, buddy bump right there between Deadsy and teammate. Deadsy in plural.
That's another bounce out, so Wake Tech looking a little bit frustrated. You can see them. You can hear the roars as they try and gather those boosts and try and speed up the pace. They want to get those goals. They're hungry for it. But again, the stop, TNT rolls it right over one of the defenders. She thankfully gets a pass from a teammate, but Nova keeping it on Wake Tech's side of the field.
Fantastic look so far. This is the kind of pressure that we were talking about. Nova opt not to just get hot and heavy for the 4th score. Instead, they just kind of keep up offense where they will literally always have that player rotated in the back. TNT doesn't like the pressure, takes one out, and that buys his team a little bit of time. This is the first breakout for Wake Tech so far. This game is not over. This contest is not over, Orbital. But it's been another 60 seconds at this one for no fruit. Wake Tech, this one's over.
Yeah, this is a rough time. So Nova feeling very happy they took the lead of the series at the start. Blurry though says it ain't over till that whistle blows. 3-1. Now we have to see a score within the next 45 seconds is what you want to have for Wake Tech. If they can do that, they give themselves the opportunity. Maybe a fast break off this. They've been winning the early kickoffs so far.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing what the situation still well within the realm of possibilities. You were saying, what, 45 seconds, a minute or so? Oh, almost getting that one. And way less than a 30-second average, too. Back to the middle and off. Oh, man. This was Wake Tech that was trying to assume the defensive section here, like that defensive stance with nothing on the other side, and they weren't able to pick this one up. Cheese right there, and cheese is tasty. 67 seconds left, and Wake Tech have purchased themselves a way back into this series.
It took just a bounce. Look at this cheese zooming in straight from cross field, and just like that, we were saying it, right? It only took about 28 seconds right there. Nova hoping to do it once again. You have 1:07. That's way more time than you thought you were going to be able to get.
Yeah, that's the best news that Wake Tech has heard in a couple of games here, my friend. Basically, since the one that they took previously. As it is, plenty of time. This is not crunch time situations quite yet, Orbital. You have plenty of time to go forth at, like, honest and well-earned, responsible Rocket League rotations to turn into points.
And that's very, very important. Wake Tech need to not stress out too much. And man, I keep saying that. I think I'm caster cursing this, but Blur is going to go up. Can you carry it in? You do. Oh, it bumps right up between the goalposts. Oh, my God, it bounces out. Denzi comes in to save it. That almost looked like a goal, and look at that bounce. That is the sharpest bounce back out. Denzi comes in and makes it good as we have another tie game.
I love that. Just kind of puts like the back down, just completely slaps this one all the way in, and easy peasy. That's how Wake Tech is making it look. 22 seconds in here. Honestly, if you're Wake Tech, do you put hot and heavy offense, or do you just push it to the overtime?
At this point, go for it. You have the momentum. You have the strength. Try your best with it and carry yourself forward. That's what's working so far. We're into that 10-second realm of possibilities. They want to score before they go into OT.
Almost taking it from TNT right here. This is a deadly look. Only one player back. Cheese is there. Bounce off the side. That's up. That's decent positioning.
Oh!
Not going to happen. OT again we go.
He missed it. Nova, they saw the opportunity. Is this going to be a fast break goal? No, it's not. Oh, my gosh.
On the edge of my seat, on the edge of Orbital seat, that's where we're living, people. This has been the third overtime situation. And the fourth time we've almost gotten there, got down to a 0-second scoreline. And
might as well have been overtime.
Yeah, exactly. Like you know, the not formal overtime, sudden death up top with a volleyball situation. 30 seconds though. Back to the middle. Deadsy bouncing this one. Ability keeping the ball over in this Wake Tech side until TNT has something to say about it across the middle. Very weak hit right here. TNT does what they can, which is just pop this up and allow their teammates time to rotate. Continued on. Back to the middle. Ability gets beat there. That is too high right there. Doesn't matter because TNT's got a hand on it.
It looks like they have another hand. Tech are going to try to bounce their way back out. Taurus, you haven't really had a shining moment, but that was almost it. Taurus gets demoed out, and there is no change up in who the stars are. Ability and TNT are still looking for the golden opportunities. A great challenge right in front. Rolls it right back to midfield.
Yeah, so that was about as far up as a defensive player could have played that one nonetheless there, Deadsy. You had some fantastic plays. Don't rely on that perfect angle in the future because there was literally nothing else you could have cut out of that angle to try and get in, to cut it like on the inside of this one is what I'm trying to say. Back to it. 80 seconds in overtime so far. think our longest so far was 94 seconds.
Yes, it has been, and I mean, we're already reaching there, so we are getting very, very close. Cheese carries it right back and tries to set it closer to the goal, but Blurry is going to change it up on the side. And I mean, Nova, they're getting a little bit antsy. You can see them. They're going for more and more of those slashy plays. They're starting to leave the goal a little bit unattended. You can see the full throttle to send all three back to the goal just to try and clear it out. It's working for the time being, but will it continue? That's going to be a slow roll. A little bit of bounce out. Ability being able to save that from narrow goal scoring position.
I don't know. If I'm Nova, honestly, I say hot and heavy at this one.
Yep.
Push this to another situation. Even if you lose, you're still ahead by several games, by 2 games. You'd still be able to play around with another one after this one. If they lose it, screw it. You spend a lot of time in OT right now, and you've already shown that you can take it in regular time. As it is, though, Wake Tech, you got nothing else to lose.
You really don't. Now you're starting to see it, right? You can see the aggression on this side. The ball has not left this right side of the field so far. It's going to be a high roller. Who's in the middle? Is anyone there? Taurus ready to bounce it back. They're going to set it up this time on the left. Can Taurus set it up for a teammate? No, you miss again. It's handed over to Wake Tech. The passes to each other are not working out. And now Wake Tech are going to watch as the ball is cleared once again. It's starting to just be high pass to high pass. Taurus up in the air. Double challenge, and that will almost be it. Dead Sea is going to block it once again.
Edzy keeping the dream alive. Love to see it. 3 minutes. Lots of OT so far. People, we have gotten already basically an extra Rocket League. Okay, sorry.
Oh. There have been so many shots that have hit the corner.
That's it.
Cheese. Can you put
my
it away?
God.
No, it's off the top again.
What is going on? The barest of angles not proving true thus far. Back on the defense we go. Wake Tech, again, match point here. Gotta take this one to push it into extra games. Back on over. TNT doesn't have an ability on the other side. Doesn't have a good angle either.
Oh, man. No one was set up. TNT wants to roll out at this point. They're going to try and prep for their teammate. You can see it roll over, but an immediate challenge by 2 Wake Tech is not going to allow the pass to go through. Up and there you go. Ability tries to prep it for TNT. TNT makes a shot. Oh, but his body block. That is going to be a stall right in front of the goal, and Wake Tech cleared out once again.
Taurus wisely coming back on this one, realizing that this one is either going in or it's coming back the other way, and it's coming back quickly. This would have gone the other way. This would have been Wake Tech taking this game number 6 otherwise. 6 number 5 otherwise. Back on
Taurus. Taurus is starting to get a little bit antsy, Tugboat. I'm worried about this.
Middle plays right here. Cheese hits it down. Taurus, easy block across. Ability is going to pick it up. Not challenged right here. This is only one back. Deadsy still gets to it. Doesn't give up the back to the offender.
And Nova, they've had so many opportunities now. They want to full press. The field is theirs to take. It's going to be a long-range pass out. Blurry is able to knock it off course, as they rightly should, straight into the hands of Dead Sea. It's a challenge to Taurus, though. Taurus has been playing so overly aggressive now. Just saying, screw it. We got to do something. Taking your advice to heart, Tugboat.
Shot in. TNT, no! Another shot, and that somehow racks against the sidebars and out. Blurry looking for a good angle inside. Cheese comes in way too fast in this, and Taurus is going to easily take this up. That was an open net situation otherwise here, Orbital.
This game, Tugboat, has been a culmination of shots that should have been shots, and shots not going in. I can't wait to see the score on that one. Someone has to be in double digits, right? That's going to be a challenge out. Ability is going to have their shot nullified. Taurus wants to give someone a prep. Again, it's off the backside. Who's going to fly it? Is that the chance? No, you hit it off the corner. The corners are the real MVP.
They really are. This corner bar and this top bar and down skis have been the hands down the best defensive players thus far. TNT 7 shots, Blurry 6, Deadsy 5 for ability as well. Taurus has done way more on defense here, and Cheese 5 shots getting it done, but hey, those shots don't count if you can't make them in. This is go time right here, as it has been for about 6 minutes.
They have officially more or less run into a Game 5 already, and we are still deadlocked right now, Tugboat. What is going on? It feels like strategy's been thrown out the window so far, and these are just jockeying for the opportunity to take a shot.
Yeah, 5th game has to go to go for Wake Tech. Real quick, longest OT you've casted before? Mine's 11.5 minutes.
Only about 4, so we are already way past mine.
Setting records out here. Love to see it. Love to see it. Back on out to this left corner. TNT tries to pop this one down. Cheese easily meets it there, but with nobody else on Wake Tech, this offense is just going to crumble under it. Excuse me, that was almost a perfect shot. Rolled that one all the way in. Doesn't have to be fast. A slow roller will take it sometimes. That's in front of one, but Deadzy says no. Deadzy's been showing up on defense all day long. No reason to believe that one's going to stop now.
And now it's a high pop up. That's right in front of Nova's goal, and they have to clear it out, but that's an opportunity! And Cheese takes it away! 6.5 with 7 seconds over. And Wake Tech pushed to 3-2.
That's, was that double digits at the end? No, excuse me. Everybody on this squad had between 4 and 7 shots attempted, and we'll just say that was a little bit of a lower number coming out of this game, this regular time. OT, everybody got a shot. Everybody got a chance to really sing this one true. Yeah, Deadzy and Taurus, the only players that don't have 6 or 7 shots. TNT has 7. Everyone else has 6 right there. So most lobby has about 6 shots right here. And everybody made a score, except for Taurus as well. Again, Taurus, double a save situation and 2 assists. So getting it more so going outside of that point man position, Orbital.
There's a point where, I really could have said that OT would have ended. It was at about 5 seconds. It was about 27 seconds. It was about 1 minute, and then about one, just scale it up however you like, but you could see it. And that game, we said this game has kind of devolved from, trying to do coordinated plays, trying to set up those passes to just pure out monstrosity. And I love it, right? It's a de-evolution of what a lot of people are normally trying to look for in Rocket League, which is you prep the play, you set up on the sides, and you go for it. It was very much going for the challenges in the air, and that's actually what ended up happening. So I really want to point out that last goal came about because Nova actually sent 2 players up to try and challenge in midfield, and it opened up an opportunity for Wake Tech to take that open shot. So honestly, it's a battle of endurance. Who is going to continue to challenge for these balls? Who is going to continue to play and be more efficient in the communication? Because as soon as that breaks down, one of these teams is going to nap you up, and so far, Wake Tech, in the latter half of the series, has felt much cleaner in that sense.
Yeah, Game 6 starting right now. I definitely agree with you, Orbital. I'd love to see both of these teams change up kind of their game plans and whatnot, right? We really have run the gamut as far as normal Rocket... I thought that was going to be the first one. As far as normal Rocket League plays, right? We've seen heavy demo. We've seen super slow defensive play. We've seen pass attempts down bottom. We've seen just more so paying attention to bumps and whatnot than it is to full-on demos. All of these things have individually purchased teams. A lot of breathing room here and a lot of points, even if a couple games. But it has not gotten anything for either of these teams when it talks about the overall match-wise. But if Nova was thinking this would be a quick one,
I think a lot of people were, and honestly, the resilience of Wake Tech to battle through even an OT was very, very important. And now we're seeing Nova also have some troubles here, so I feel like Game 5 is starting to bleed over here into Game 6. You can see Nova, it looked like they're starting to prep some passes as well on their own, but they're not completing it. I'm not sure if that's, just timing-wise, or, you're not sure who the striker is going to be, but it really does feel like that last game has to rattle.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to be too negative or whatever, but I want to try and pay attention the next time the Wake Tech sets up an offensive opportunity that comes from a pass in their offensive third, in the other side, in Nova's defensive side, because I just simply haven't seen it in quite a while. At least 90 seconds for this game right here. Even earlier, last little bit, like you said, more of an open net situation and individualistic styling. There you go. That's more of a rebounded shot that Blurry picked up. We'll call it a pass. I am wrong. We'll say it. I'll admit it.
I mean, either way, it's the first goal for Wake Tech, and in last game we broke the mold of Nova getting a win whenever they score first, and Wake Tech now scoring the first one on. That so far in this series has identified the fact that it's going to be a very, very close match. It's going to be very, very harsh for either side's defensive looks. It's going to be challenges very quickly by Nova to try and score back. But Wake Tech already on their way to tying things up once again in the whole series.
We've seen 9 score game. We've seen 3 7 total score games. We saw the game 2 goose egg for Wake Tech. There was 4 total scores, obviously. And there you go. That's what we're looking for. Now 2 outside of halftime. I would be surprised if we don't get to at least 6, I'd say, just as the numbers and averages that we have to use to predict the future.
Yeah. I mean, I would expect it too. I mean, these teams, whenever Wake Tech scores first, it seems to ignite something in Nova. It just seems to kick things off, and everyone goes a little bit red in the eyes. And yeah, these fast breaks, these fast challenges have consistently come out, and they're getting closer and closer to hitting the mark, I think, here in this game. Wake Tech prepped for a little bit of bounce, but no one's really in midfield to challenge, and that's actually going to get a flip over. Is that going to be the open? Yes, it is. Ability, once again, wakes up here to push Nova up in the lead.
Fantastic stuff. Ability taking this one. Now that is the passes that we are talking about. No question about what the intention of that ball was there, Orbital.
Not at all, and I like it. So Nova, after that first goal, is going to take the lead and kind of shake off a little bit of that sleepiness, because Game 4 was a rattler. Game 5 was, and that's going to be a little bounce out. You can see them. They are flying up in the air for that one. It's another challenge directly on the goalie, and the Wake Tech just barely get it out of there.
Deadsy trying to roll this one up. He gets nothing for it. Gets ball taken away, demoed, and bullied, stuffed into a locker. I don't know.
Oh my
that was
God.
brutal right there.
All right,
brutal.
that just brought up a lot of nightmares from high school that I did not want to talk about. We got to talk about this.
There you go. My bad. My bad. Getting philosophical out here. 2 minutes left on this one. Nicely done. Now that is what I am talking about. It doesn't necessarily, you know, I know I called for passes into points. Doesn't matter. It can be demos into points as well. Cheese down bottom. That is a pass from Deadsy up into Blurry. More kind of like a taking assumption of possession right there. But regardless, is the coordination. That is the root of what I said here for Wake Tech. That is exactly what we just saw. And I think that that's going to be some fantastic plays to keep them alive in the rest of this game. And hopefully, rest of the series, they win this game down to a best of one.
Yep. And then everything that Nova has had to work with and work for has been for naught, right? Remember, at one point, this series was 3-0. It was on the cusp of finishing about half an hour ago, right? That's how close we were. And yet, Wake Tech have forced us to this moment. They are so close to pushing for that final game, and you can see it in their fight, in their spark. Nova are scared. Wake Tech want to ensure that another tie does not occur. We're down to a minute 20, almost an open goal, but Wake Tech now a lot more consistent on the defensive side.
Yeah. We talk about momentum all the time, right? Obviously, it is going Wake Tech, but that works both ways as well. If you're just up in the driver's seat and just dusting everyone, putting up 4-0 games, for example, when that stops, the nervousness has to set in, the little bit of anxiety of like, we just got these guys. What is going on? What are we getting read out as wise? What have they done? What have they changed to completely flip this situation on their head? Because like our Orbital was saying, this was not too long ago a 3-0 roll for the side of Nova.
And I think it's just the fact that Wake Tech said, we're not going to play standard. We're not going to play a little bit more defensive. We're going to go all out on the aggression, and it worked for them, right? It forced the speed of the game to pick up. It forced that tempo to reach maximum peak, and it threw Nova off their game for a little bit. So if Nova can catch up, if Nova can start getting a handle on this pacing, Wake Tech might be in for a problem, but the constant tempo changes have been very good for them.
Demos and demos and demos. If they drop here, at least be in 4-2, but that looks like a good one. Cheese up top, and he can't get it low. Can't drop it low. 1 second left. Middle action. This has gone down so far. He'll keeping alive. Ability likes their looks. They like their odds. They like their chances. Now rolling it out to this outside. Pop play up. TNT takes it, but TNT puts it down, grounds it. We have another overtime situation in Game 6 overall.
This has to be the most OTs I've seen in a series so far. I understand that I'm sure there are some people that have seen all 7 games have 7, OTs, but this one is by far the most. We are in our 4th OT, I would like to say. This is excessive on both ends.
And there was one buzzer beater as well, 0-second score. That could have been it. All of this could have just come down just now to Ability coming off with, call it 8 more boost, maybe 10.
Could have, and so far, honestly, it's been the struggle, right? In these OTs, it's been so dangerous from both ends that they have missed shots altogether, and Taurus still trying to chase that ball. That's going to be a kick off the right side. Can anyone prep for it? Might roll back in. This might be the chance. It might be a curved out. No. Nice little prep, but Nova can't find the score.
Jeez. Perfect read on the other side. Full hand Luke defenses for this Wake Tech Eagles squad so far. That's a bad angle. TNT knows it. TNT reads it. TNT picks it up, and TNT gives it away. Ability forced to throw an epic on top of that save. Really bend time and space to get out to it. A lot of pressure against Nova the past 20 seconds or so. Like that, though. Ability doing their doing their best to try and bring this one out. It is all for naught. Once again, Nova pressure.
That's all, folks. That's what that almost said. So we'll go ahead and keep moving forward, though.
It's been like the perfect mistake, right?
Yeah, almost. We are looking, though. Nova is going to go ahead and watch as the ball gets dropped far, but they are prepped. So, again, Nova playing a little bit more reserved now. We aren't seeing them fly across the map, and that gives great heed to their mental right now. They're realizing that they're getting aggressive on TNT, going to go ahead and knock out Cheese, and that opens up a little bit of the line of opportunity. Wake Tech wants to force this out, and so far Taurus has kind of been there in the middle, has not had a chance still to shine, and really needs to step up here if they want to open up more opportunities.
A lot of sweeping shots here. Speaking of opportunities, back to the middle, stop play. Deadsy, no, this is a little bit of a run, and Blurry realizes it and takes out Taurus post haste. Shooting stars out the sky.
Well, Taurus so far has had
Orbital.
some interesting moments. I like it.
Oh!
That'll be open, though. And just like that, Nova with an open goal after that unfortunate save action. Taurus this time with the assist lays it up to TNT to finish the series 4-2.
Explosive finish it was there from TNT. Fantastic stuff. Orbital mentioned it. I have to reiterate it. Not 1, not 2, not 3, and not 4 games go down to overtime, but 4 games go down to overtime, and we have a buzzer beater. The only one that did not come down to a 1 score line, that didn't come down to the last few seconds on this clock was that game 2, which obviously and ultimately decided the series for Nova. So we can take it, we can pitch it out, but at the end of the day, that is the only reason that they won. I mean, who knows if they won the game after this, right? We won't find out. Wake Tech has dropped their 4 games, and that's gonna be it. A 4-2 scoreline it is. That's fantastic, given that Wake Tech was looking at as 3-0 again 20 minutes ago.
It is something to be said, and again, I said it, I think, after at the beginning of game number 6. It was the fact that Wake Tech had the resilience to break in, and I say that for multiple reasons. Number one, you saw it, right? We just saw them play some fantastic games, OT one-off, but I also want to put in the fact this is a team that 3-0'd almost all of their competitors. They know what it's like to ride with momentum, and when you see teams that do this, as well as go 9-0 in the regular season, it's actually very difficult. It's some of the teams you sit there and go, okay, maybe they don't know how to play with momentum or play from behind, right? That's the question that a lot of people had. And Wake Tech proved it wrong. They said, hey, we know how to play from behind. We still know how to give this a shot. And at the end of the day, right, it almost came down to that 50-50. It came down to that OT of who had the better shot at that point. And just at these, it was Nova. So huge congrats to Wake Tech to make it past the number 1 seeds and be able to get to the finals. But of course, huge congrats to the side of Nova for crushing it and getting the NJCAA title.
Absolutely. It's one of those situations, Orbital, that I gotta imagine they can't we just take a couple of these game 2 goals and put them over here in these freaking games later, right? And not push this down to just consistent pressure, anxiety, whatever you want to call it here. The overtime barn burners is how we started it off, and that's how we ended it here, Orbital. Speaking of ending it, though, we are not there quite yet. We got a little post-game interview action coming at you. We just got to go to a short break to get it set up first. Orbital FBI Tugboat back here with the post-game NJCAA interview in just a minute. Hello and welcome back. We are here and we are live. A little post-game interview action at the NJCAA Grand Finals. We are sitting down with a member over here from Nova. 4-2 victory for them, and we got Ability up here in the interview box. Ability, how we doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing pretty well. I didn't just win a 4-2 victory over Wake Tech that looked a little shaky there for a minute, but just for a minute, right? Just for a minute. Orbital.
A little nerves came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, let's kick it off with the first question. Of course, you guys came into this, and let's be honest, it was looking like a fairly tough opponent. This is a squad that was number 4 in the seeding, but also had the exact same record, right? 9-0, and not only that, we're able to take down the number 1 seed in Howard Community College. How are you feeling going into this matchup? Were you expecting it to be pretty tough, or were you expecting it to be kind of even, or what was going through your mind?
I mean, definitely a little surprised. We thought we were gonna play Howard for sure, but going into it, we were a little nervous because they did beat Howard, but we felt fine. After the first 2 games, we were in a groove, but obviously after the 3rd game, we fell off the groove. But going into it, we were high hopes. We had good hopes.
Of course, and to talk about that specifically, I mean, you just said it yourself. Game 3, it felt a little bit shaky. Game 4 is, of course, where we had that massive OT, I think, or no, it was Game 3. I think that was the longest OT that we saw. It was about 6.5 minutes with 6 minutes 37 seconds, and then you had that fatal, buzzer beater goal. At that point, you even said it. Were you guys just that out of it? Did it feel like it kind of knocked you out of your rhythm completely?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we still had high hopes, of course, and we felt fine, but our play style just completely changed, and we were a little nervous. We weren't going for what we wanted to go for. I don't know. It was definitely a little heart beating. It was getting our hearts beating.
And then the final one, of course, I mean, it seemed like you guys got it back, but it still went to OT. It
did,
still
yes.
went the distance. And at the end of it, what was kind of the final call? What was that breaking moment where you said, hey, we got to end this now? Or was there a call, or was there just, hey, there's an opportunity?
There was a lot of opportunities we thought we were going to win. We thought we were going to win a long time ago in that game 6. Yeah, game 6.
Yep.
But as soon as it went in, we just all started screaming, getting out of our chairs. It was great.
Of course.
There you go, absolutely. So a 4-2 victory all the way here. My first question is going to be pretty straightforward. Just game 2 question mark. What happened here? 4-0 victory for your squad. Given that every single other game either went down to overtime, basically a buzzer beater, or regardless a 1-score difference, what happened in that game 2 that allowed you guys to just shut down Wake Tech?
I think it was the confidence. I was going really I was very confident the first 2 games. I think I had 2 hat tricks, and I just knew that I can just put the ball in the net and I can go for the ball, and it'll work.
There you go, just straight up con. So kind of follow up question to that: what changed then? What was it more so with you and the confidence of being able to play these balls and get it done yourself? Was it Wake Tech kind of realizing that? What exactly happened to change from, again, overtime 4-3, game 2 4-0, and then back to that 1-score difference?
I can't tell you. I mean, I felt good the entire time, but for some reason I couldn't put the ball in the net that last game. So I had my teammates on my back though. So
there you go.
They came in clutch.
Absolutely. If you had to give out an MVP award, the most well-rounded player on your squad, who's a go-to, and you can vote for yourself.
I can vote for myself?
Well, yes, absolutely.
My friends think I have an ego, and I do. It's me.
There you go. Gotta prove them true. There you go. Like you said, hey, the confidence got you a lot in those respective early games as well. So fantastic job. Now, Ability, once again, congratulations on the 4-2 victory. Before we get you on out of here, I want to ask if you have any shout-outs.
Oh, of course. It's TNT and Taurus, my 2 teammates. My coach, John, and my teammate outside of college soccer or college Rocket League would be my other teammate, Skell.
Gotcha. So the teammates, the coaches, and the outside of Rocket League teammate, correct?
Correct.
Love to hear it.
And then, of course, my parents.
Once again. Oh, there you go. Slid that one on
sorry,
in.
Sorry.
I got you. Can't forget that one. I'm with it. Ability, once again, congratulations on your victory. Be sure to share that. Congratulations on with your teammates.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Back with Self and Orbital. That's going to be about it. We got any closing statements here, Orbital?
Nah, that was by far the most amazing and entertaining series, best of 7 series I have cast without it going all the way to 7. Felt like it should have because we had over 6 minutes in an OT at one point, but
I think it was like 12 minutes total of overtime, like between these 4 games it technically went down to it, something like that.
Yeah, I think it went over actually. So I was taking a look. I was like, oh man, that's a lot of time. But
There you go.
honestly, both teams here in the NJCAA were fantastic, and I couldn't ask for a better finals here. Went down to the wire every single time, so I loved it.
Yeah. If this had gone down in 4, Wake Tech might have been able to feel kind of good about taking it kind of close. But those 2 extra games, this is nothing that Wake Tech should write home crying about by any means. Closing statements. Big shout out to Colton again. That's our producer, producing away, making our jobs as casters just so much easier, and we do appreciate that. If you enjoyed what you heard, NJCAA and FBI Tugboat and Orbital Cast over there on Twitter, folks. This has been the NJCAA Grand Finals. Big shout out once again to Nova for taking it in 4-2 fashion. We will check you guys on a manana.